Me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From a place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV, and it's the Newcastle United versus Leicester City match preview ahead of Monday night's game. 8 p.m. kickoff at St James's Park, live on Sky. I'm joined by Jack from The Final Whistle and Roly, my regular. How are you guys? All right?
Yeah, good. Thanks.
Sorry. Yeah, good. Okay, if you like what you see, then please smash the like. It does help the channel to search results, so smash those likes. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then hit the subscribe. Free to do so. Come enjoy this amazing community. And also the bell notification will tell you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. So I'm 26 away now from 600 subscribers. Also, if you want to make a donation, there is a link in the chat. Click the link and follow the instructions. Got some comments, so I'll just go to the comments first of all. Mason says afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Mason. Julie J, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Julie. Lewis, hi and good afternoon. Good afternoon, Lewis. Hope you're well. Mighty Mag, afternoon. Tony, Roly, Jack, Mason, all. Good afternoon, Mighty Mag.
Yeah, it's a great tweet. He got that response from his Twitter this morning. That was brilliant.
Refolk, says Andrew. Yeah, he certainly did, from Mickey. Bia says, good afternoon, Tony, Roly and Jack. Good afternoon to you, Bia Viking. Pete says, hi, folks. What a laugh yesterday on my show. Yes, it was. I couldn't stay on long, Pete. I was absolutely shattered after only having just over 4 hours kip. I'm surprised I even done a show last night, to be honest with you. But I got through it.
Yeah.
Yabba says, hi. And people laughing at PD. And Jazz Miggy is my star now, says... Mighty Mag. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to come to you, Jack. I mean, I met you a couple of months ago when we went to King Power to see England under 21s against France. First time I met you, and absolutely brilliant to have met you. I mean, I was talking with yourself and a couple of your Leicester mates as well, you know, about your team at the time, and you still had some sort of hope back then that you may just do it and just have enough to stay above the relegation zone. You know, we forward a couple of months and, you know, second bottom and, you know, things not looking great. If, you know, you like to think Wolves will beat Everton this afternoon, which they should do comfortably. Forest and Arsenal, you probably want an Arsenal to tonk Forest, but again, at the City Ground, it's a different game. Forest could even scrape a draw with that game, which helps them out. I mean, if Everton do win and you get beat off us on Monday, that means you're down and you're relegated. Not great. You got rid of Rodgers. You brought in Dean Smith. I mean, I sort of looked at Dean Smith and thought that was a bit of a backward step. He got sacked by Norwich. I mean, Jack, let everybody know about your season, mate, and how it's gone from the start, up to now, and how you found it.
It's been an absolute crap season. You know, it's not been what we wanted or what we hoped for. We started off with Brendan Rodgers. First 8 games, couldn't even buy a win, even if we tried. We got spanked against Brighton, spanked against Tottenham. We thought that's it, the end of Brendan Rodgers, but they kept with him. We then came back after that international break, beat Leeds. We then beat East Midlands rivals Nottingham Forest. And, we thought 2 wins, quite decent. And then we went a bit of a if and ball game. We went to Bournemouth, we lost 2-1. Through to Palace 0-0 in a boring 0-0, which Brendan Rodgers said the weather were too hot. So you're thinking, surely not. We played Man City. We lost 1-0. I mean, not many teams have been able to do that to Man City this season, keeping the score down the way we did at the KP. But it'd probably been different if we went to the Etihad at that time. We then went on a run. We beat Everton. We beat West Ham. We beat Wolves. And we had a decent run before the World Cup. And then after the World Cup, we hadn't kept a clean sheet. And is it 21 out of 22, I believe? So, yes. No, I think it's 20. Yeah, 20 out of 21. We ain't kept a clean sheet. We ain't kept a clean sheet since the World Cup. So it tells you how much Leicester City have come back as a team after the World Cup, to be fair. And we're the only team in Europe's top 5 divisions to not keep a clean sheet since the World Cup. So that tells you all about Leicester's season. It's been absolute diet, to be fair. Brendan Rodgers ended up leaving in the end. And then we brought Dean Smith in. We thought Dean Smith would be able to come and galvanise the team, but I think Dean Smith's come in at a very late point. I don't think he's a firefighter. He's a team builder, in my opinion. I won't blame him if we did go down, because this mess started way before he came along. He's just got thrown into the fire, and the club's a mess. You guys would know how it feels being Leicester right now, because you lot were in these sort of positions with Mike Ashley and that. And it's been a torrid season. It's been awful. The players, there's no confidence, there's no fight, no passion, no hunger. And we picked up 2 wins, Spurs and Aston Villa back to back, and we thought, we'll go on a good run here. And then after the Spurs game, I don't think we've just beat Wolves, so I think we've picked up 6 points since the Tottenham game in the league. So it tells you how poor Leicester's been. We've got the 19th worst home record in the league. Southampton will obviously be bottom of that, won't they? I think they've only picked 2 wins up. We picked 4 up, and I think we've only won 8 all season. So it's been a torrid time being a Leicester fan. We've covered the miles this season. We've seen Leicester get good idings, but we've not stopped, Tony, to be fair, following the Foxes. We've stuck by them through thick and thin, like you do with your football team. And it looks like Championship football in Plymouth away next season if results go the way people think they're going to go today. But if not, it'll go down to the last game of the season. So, it's not really great for us at the minute. And, we're in a real big mess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you lost Kasper Schmeichel at the beginning of the season. Was that a mistake by the club to sell him?
Massively.
Because he's been your backbone.
That's your leader, Tony, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Schmeichel's your leader. He's that older head in the dressing room. You need to hold that team together. He's like the glue, isn't it? Him and Vardy are the glue to hold that team together. And if you take that glue apart, everything falls apart. And I think that's what's happened. The last 18 months following Leicester, it's not just been this season. It's been last season as well, getting knocked out of Europe and losing to Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup and that. I just don't think it summed us up getting rid of Wesley Fofana late on in that transfer window, innit? We had a week to get somebody in. We bought Wout Fass in. People are thinking, who? What? Who the hell's that? They referred him to Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons, and you're thinking, they referred him to the next David Luiz. And, first 4 games he did well, Wout Fass, and he ain't been seen since. So it shows how much we've transpired as a club on a downward spiral. We're buying Harry Souttar, Championship player. You could say from Stoke. Christensen's come in. We thought he'd be decent. You can kind of see it's kind of unravelling now. And then Tete, fantastic at Aston Villa. Man's turned into Tetley, isn't it? The signings ain't been good either, Tony, to be fair. I don't think we've strengthened when we needed to. And, it's been horrible.
Yeah. Julie says Miggy's back, just needs to start putting those balls in the back of the net. Absolutely. Lewis says, Jack, this game is huge for both teams.
Yeah, this game's massive. If results go through today, then we need to beat Newcastle. Let's be honest. The likelihood of that happening, probably not so much. Newcastle are a good side. They deserve to be where they are. Hard-working, the good team effort. They've got players who want to play for the manager, who have really brought into Eddie Howe's style and the way he wants to go about things. And Newcastle have been fantastic, and they fully deserve Champions League football the way they've gone about this season. Totally, to be fair. Leicester are where we want to be, where Newcastle are, but we're not. And if we lose on Monday night, then it could be bye-bye to the Premier League, or it could go down to the last game of the season. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it certainly could. I mean, Jack's Andrew says you're right, Jack, and Mighty Mag has a question. If you scored down, you should be jumping on Rafa. He would get Tielemans to do an extra season, and also Maddison, and bring you back up. What do you reckon to that comment? I don't think he'll stay if you go down, though.
Tielemans is off. It's been confirmed. Tielemans will be leaving Leicester in the end of the season. Maddison, Man United are after him. Man City are after him. Tottenham, Newcastle, yourselves. And I think Maddison, John Percy put it out there from the Telegraph that if we do go down or we do stay up, then Maddison will be off this summer. So it'd be a big loss to the team. But it's not, if Maddison hasn't been great, and neither has the team this season. So it'd be good to see the back of some of the players, to be fair, because I don't think they've gave the fight, the passion, and that what the fans want to see. They talk about, we want to fight, we want to do this, want to do that. Fight, that's just talk, innit? You know what I mean? That's just BS. That's what they have to do for the media. It's what you show on a football pitch that matters to the fans. And if you're not doing that, then clearly man's telling porkies, isn't it? So, the players themselves, there's a lot out of contract, Tony. You know, we've let players run out of contract. We let Sionchu go to Atletico Madrid on a free. And Marty looks like he's going to AC Milan. So, it shows how much of a mess Leicester's in. I mean, these players should be signed new contracts, innit? The contract situation should be sorted by now, but they're not. And a lot of people are going to be leaving in the summer.
Yeah, they should have them sorted out. And
just like to ask, just something. If you go down and it is looking like that you will go down, what are your hopes of coming straight back up?
See, this is it. I said this to you guys before the show. When we came up to the Premier League in 2014, things were different back then. You know what I mean? You know, you'd have more likely coming back up than what you did. Now the Championship's more difficult. You've seen it with Norwich. You've seen it with Watford. Burnley have been lucky to come back up. Because they always seem to go down and come back up in it, Burnley, and I think that's been the luck that they've had. There's been a lot of teams who's been away from the Premier League for a long time. Sunderland, Middlesbrough, teams like that who used to be in the Premier League, used to be a Premier League side for years, and Southampton, they've been away from the Championship for a long time. Now they're relegated, and I don't think it's going to be an easy ride in the Championship if we do go down. And a lot of fans are questioning, will we come straight back up? And I think it's going to be an ever so difficult task because the Championship's more harder these days.
I mean, Pablo says, afternoon, Tony, Roly and Jack. We have not lost a game under the lights under Eddie Howe, and I don't see that changing on Monday. Champions League, here we come. Lewis says, I said when Casper went, that was it for you. BS says, when Dean Smith leaves, he can go back to running my local post office. I've got parcels backing up there as well. I mean, the thing is, you look at your squad, and technically, if they played to that strengths, you wouldn't be where you are now. It looks like Maddison's not interested anymore. Against Liverpool, you had a bit of fight for about 10 minutes. I think Liverpool took over. On that match, I noticed that in your stadium, you sang the national anthem, and the Liverpool fans absolutely disgraceful on booing it all the way through, and then started shouting Liverpool after you sang it. I mean, you know, I know they've got some sort of gripe against Maggie Thatcher back from the 80s, something to do with Liverpool. I don't know what she's done wrong, but whatever it is, it's stupid. At the end of the day, the national anthem, it doesn't matter who you don't like or whatever you don't like in life, but at least at the end of the day, that's your country, that's your anthem. You should sing that with pride and have pride with that. Doesn't matter if Maggie Thatcher's upset you or whatever in the past, or David Cameron or Tony Blair or any of them have upset you, deal with it. But, your national anthem, certainly don't vote. That's just a sign of ignorance. I mean, what was your thoughts on that? Because you would have been there on Monday.
You've got to be... I think with the national anthem, it's your national anthem at the end of the day, innit? Do you know what I mean? You sing it with pride because you're British at the end of the day. Liverpool fans, they boo it because they feel that some fans would say they're not English. Do you get what I'm saying? A lot of their fans would say we're not English, we're not a part of it. Do you know what I mean? Like Celtic, when I talked to a Rangers fan turned around and said that Celtic are like Liverpool. They don't count themselves as us. They count themselves as a part of that, away from that. And I'll sing the national anthem with pride because we're British, innit? You know what I mean? It don't matter who's the government is or the king or whatever. You know what I mean? You might not like them, innit? But that doesn't matter. The national anthem's different, but away from that, Tony, to be fair. And I think you've got to be some sort of way of respectful in it towards it because that's what it is. You're not singing the national anthem for other people, you know what I mean? You're singing it for yourself because you're proud to be who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Currently at the moment, the Premier League, Spurs are 1-0 up. Harry Kane's early goal against Brentford after 8 minutes. And in the League Two playoff final, it's currently Stockport County 0, Salford City 0 at the moment, with Salford 1-0 up on aggregate so far in that tie. That's going to half time at the moment. So, at the moment, the class of 92 certainly have got one foot in the final for the playoffs. So they'll be a happy bunch this evening. I mean, are you expecting anything different on Monday, Jack? Or do you think... I mean, the thing is, Leicester's got to come out and... If Leicester want to stay up, they have to come out and play. That's the thing. They're going to have to... They can't sit back, soak up the pressure and hope to get a point. A point's no good. You need 3. If you come out and play, which could be dangerous, it could play well into our hands. If we get you on the counter and you leave gaps, we could annihilate you. I mean, how do you think Leicester's going to approach us on Monday?
The same as we have every other team all season. I don't see this going any other way, to be fair. We say we want to fight. I mean, it's not about the quality that you've got in a team, Tony, for a relegation battle. It's the fight and the hunger you show to get out of it. Quality doesn't always get you things. It's like spending money on wanting to win trophies like Chelsea, innit? You know what I'm saying? Money doesn't buy you success. You have to earn it. And that's something that these players have to do. We have to earn our way to stay in this Premier League. I mean, we've lost 22 games all season. A team like that don't even deserve to be in the Premier League. Let's be honest. We've got to approach it with fight. We've got to show team spirit. We've got to show everything we haven't all season, what the fans have been asking for. But yeah, if we go to attack and the leave space is open, Newcastle are going to be knocking us for a cricket score. Newcastle are very good. I mean, the Brighton side on when you played in the week, I mean, they're a fantastic side, Brighton. They have been all season. De Zerbi's done wonders there. And you beat a very good Brighton side, 4-1, and you're thinking if you can beat their bloody defence, who ain't really conceded many goals this season, then what are you going to do to Leicester's defence? Because Leicester are rock bottom for confidence. We're not playing great at all. We deserve to go down, in my opinion. But yeah, we've got to approach it with fight. We've got to really give Newcastle a game. You've battered us both times this season. One at St James's Park in the Cup, and then the Premier League tie at the King Power, where he beat us 3-0. So, yeah, I don't know how Leicester's going to approach this, Tony, to be fair. I don't know if it's a joke question you want me to answer, but yeah, you can tell in my face I ain't confident with this game. I mean, it's like we're going to get a good hiding, and we could go to the Championship with a bang in it on Monday night after a battering to Newcastle. So I don't know how we approach this. I just bloody hope we get something out of the game.
Yeah,
that's all I
mean,
ask.
Yeah. Pablo's got a question for you, Jack. He says, so as you go down, what do you think Maddison will be worth as you're asking for £60 million for him this summer, bearing he's only going to have 12 months left on his contract as well, and the fact you've got to give Norwich a 15% sell-on clause as well straight away out of that?
See, this is the thing with Maddison. He's got a year left on his contract in the summer. We need to make that money, make that money from him, innit? If you get me.
Yeah.
But we range in between. See, we rate him high, innit, Maddison? He's better than Mason Mount. He's worth more than Mason Mount. Mason Mount's worth £60 million. He's worth 80. Do you know what I mean?
It's not worth 60.
But we ain't gonna get £80 million. I don't feel in the summer for him. We might get 60 million, to be fair, but a year left on the contract. It'd be like the Tillerman situation again, innit? Where they're on a year, you'd probably get about £40 million. So yeah, Maddison, I think he will leave in the summer. To be fair, I don't think he'll stay. So. Yeah, I think we could end up with this Tillerman saga all over again, Tony, to be fair, of how much he is worth, and you got to be realistic with it.
Yeah, Matey Max says, looking back now, Jack, do you wish you'd got Martin Dubravka at the start of the season? Do you think he would have saved you? I mean, there was talk about a deal with Maddison involving Dubravka. Would you have had Martin Dubravka?
Dubravka's a good goalkeeper. Better than Danny Ward. Better than all our goalkeepers, to be fair. So, Dubravka would have done well at Leicester, I think, but I don't think himself would have wanted Leicester in the position that we're in, which is brutally honest. Would anyone want to come to Leicester in the position that they're in? You'd say no. But, yeah, Dubravka, a good goalkeeper. And I think it's his time in Newcastle now to move on, so... I think it's an interesting one, isn't it, that one?
Hi, Tony, Roly and guest. It's Jack Trolls. Yeah. Hi, Trolls. Hope you're well. Sorry, Roly, were you going to ask Jack a question?
Yeah. Well, making a point that Leicester look like we've done in previous relegation season, where I think the players want to do well. They start out and have a go, but the moment they go behind... You can see all the confidence drain out of them in an instant. And then they take too long on the ball, or they don't look where they're passing, and they make all the sort of schoolboys errors, and it invariably ends up with you losing. I mean, the first sort of 10, 15 minutes against Liverpool, you were the better team. The moment they scored, you fell apart. When did that start? Because, I mean, when did you feel that relegation was a real possibility?
I tell you what, we finished 8th last season. I don't think we deserved to finish 8th, to be fair, last season. The screws started falling out last season. It's been going on a while with Brendan. It all started from when we lost to Forest, and Brendan talked about this big, massive rebuild. He slagged the players off. He threw them under the bus. It all started from that point. And Roly, you sum us up this season, mate, with how you've just put us. We played well for 10, 15 minutes. I don't think we threatened Liverpool, though, in them 15 minutes. But you've summed us up all season in the way we played, mate, to be fair. 10, 15 minutes, we look okay. And then as soon as the team scores, done. See you later, Leicester. And I think this season we've done that most of the time, Tony, to be fair. We've conceded the first goal, and it's not been a good stat, that one, if you look at it. We always seem to, our heads go down, innit, at that point. When we've conceded one goal, our heads are down, the players just give up. And you've seen that against Liverpool. First 20 minutes, we were good. I don't think we threatened Liverpool really in scoring, but we played okay. We kept
I thought
them
we played better than they did in that period, but yeah.
Yeah. And then after 30-minute mark, Liverpool got into the game. They started passing around, moving. They got the goal. And then Leicester shut down. And then they got a second. And then from the kickoff, they could have had a third. And then Liverpool passed around us for about 60 minutes of that game. Second half, it were all Liverpool. You know what I mean? The passing, the moving. They could have had about five or six second half. And it summed us up all season, the way you put us, where we concede one goal and then you look like we're showing the fight that the fans want to see, and then, nah. And I think that'll be the same scenario against Newcastle. We'll be in the game for about 15 minutes, potentially, if Newcastle don't score in the first 10 like Fulham did. Fulham got 2 goals in 8 minutes, if you watched us against Fulham.
We're quite good at doing that at the start. Ask Tottenham.
You like to press.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm impressed with Newcastle, is you like to fight from the start. You come out from the start. I've seen it at the King Power. And I said this to Tony when we last spoke about the game at the King Power. You lot like to come out from the start. You like to run it, teams, put them under pressure. When teams are playing out from the back, you're there, you're fighting, you're hungry. And we ain't got that. And that's what some does up at the King Power, why he scored 2 goals in a matter of 3 goals in a matter of 15 minutes. Because that we don't like that. We don't like teams who come on us from the start and get into us and that. We're that sort of team who like to potentially have the ball and teams to sit off us a bit, innit, and allow us to come out. But Newcastle ain't going to be doing that on Monday night. They're going to be wanting it from the start. They're going to want to score the early goal and get the game finished.
And there's one thing I noticed in the Liverpool game. The number of times where you'd won the ball in your defensive third, and you've got these guys dribbling all over the place around looking for something to do, and then losing the ball. Not just Maddison, I think it's Ndidi and a couple of others. And I'm just
get
thinking,
the ball and wait, innit?
Yeah, you won the ball. Why are you dribbling there? Get shot of it.
They don't go forward. It goes into the defence.
I think it's sort of like the head's gone sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't think some of the players care, to be fair. I just don't. I think they're just seeing that their summer moves are wrapped up in it. And I think that's what it is now with Leicester. They know they're going to move in the summer. Dean Smith is coming, but I don't think he can change that squad, can he, Tony, to be fair? Let's be honest.
No.
He might not have been everyone's ideal manager.
Did they make the change too late, do you think?
Yeah, we sacked Brendan too late. Let's be honest, we should have sacked him way sooner than that. After that Palace game, he should have gone way before then. But this is the problem with the club, and I think it's from top to bottom the message with the club. Has Top now took his finger off the button and has been too relaxed about the situation? He wanted to keep Brendan till the end of the season. And we could have been way relegated before then. I think if we kept Brendan till the end of the season. But yeah, I just think we've been too relaxed. We've not made the decisions what we should have done. We've left things too late. And this is why the club's a mess. We've left John Rookin in charge. We've left Whelan in charge. When Top's been away in Thailand, he's left it to the director of football and all that. And I just think everything's fucked up.
It's almost like you sort of sleptwalk into this relegation.
Oh, we're bloody sprinted, Roly, I tell you. We're sprinting, mate. Don't know about sleepwalking.
Lewis says, sorry, Jack, I'm going to go for a big score. Could be 6+ goals for Newcastle. His prediction is 8-0, or it could be 10 if we play brilliant. Lewis, I like your optimism, mate. I really do. I'm happy with a 4-0 win.
Putting Andrew DB to shame, because every game that in the predictions, Andrew predicts a 7-0 win to Newcastle. And if we start fast on Monday, which we do have a habit of doing, it could be.
Yeah. Ian Fleming, afternoon, Tony, Roly and Jack. Good afternoon to you, Ian. I hope you're well, my friend.
You put Tottenham to bed early doors.
Yeah, I mean, that was just. I'm still.
Did you score 4 in 21 minutes? We're already 5. 5. You do that to bloody our defence. Jesus Christ, will crumble.
Yeah, I mean, I still can't believe we did that.
Yeah, Charles is saying we may be missing Big Joe. I mean, we don't know because Eddie Howe did say yesterday after the press conference he's going into the physio room. Willock will definitely be out, and it's looking like the season. But also Eddie has said don't rule him out, but I think it might be. Yeah, he's not sure on Longstaff because he's not really trained at the moment. So, yeah, I mean, it's it's one of them. Ian says, can't wait for Monday. Going to be some atmosphere. Absolutely, Ian. Absolutely. And if anybody's got any questions, Ian, anybody else in the chat, for Jack, do get them in, and Jack will answer them as best he can. I'll take Maddison for 35 million, says Lewis. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what his value will be. Mighty Mag reckons his value's dropped since last season. Wayne says, hello, lads, and all in chat. Tielemann's not for me, though. Alan says, I really don't want to send your team down because they're one team in the Prem. I don't mind. But our needs come first. 4-0 for me, but 1-0 would do. Absolutely, Alan. I mean, Leicester's a nice team to keep up, isn't it? Yeah, but it's a shame that they are where they are. Yeah. Alan says, maybe 1-1 if up the Villa do their stuff today. Mighty Mag says, sad to say, Jack, but Monday could be a war zone for you. The crowd will be electric.
How do you think your guys will cope with the atmosphere at St James's? Because you saw what happened last year when Arsenal came up in the last home game of the season, needing to win, and got battered. And it almost looked that when they're coming out of the tunnel, the players were in awe of the wall flags display because that was just superb, and the noise was incredible. Do you think that your guys will be up to that, or will they be beaten before we actually even kick a ball?
Do you know what some people say? Like, when you go and play someone like Man City, you're already beaten in the tunnel. Do you know what I mean? Newcastle's atmosphere was fantastic last time we went to St James's Park in the Cup. The war flags, the crowd, it got up, and it really changed the game for Newcastle, didn't it, in that second half? Second half, first half were a bit frustrating for you guys, wasn't it? Let's be honest. Second half, completely different team. You could say you ran all over his body, missed a sitter, and I think crowds changed the mood in the stadium with the players. And I think Leicester's going to feel that pressure because Leicester's going to be right under pressure now. They're going to look at the results today and say Everton do go and win. Then they're going to be sweating. They're going to be sweating in that Newcastle changing room, thinking, hold on a minute. Do we go out and play Newcastle here because we're right under pressure? And the players are going to feel that pressure. And when they do go out on that pitch, they're going to feel the vibe from the Newcastle fans, the war flags and that, the atmosphere. And you lot are not going to take it easy on us. You lot want to make Champions League football and guarantee it. I mean, you lot only make Champions League football today if Liverpool lose. If Liverpool draw, then it's all on to Monday. And you lot ain't going to want to point against Leicester. You lot are going to want all three. And it's your last home game of the season. So you lot are going to want to put on a show against Leicester. But you lot don't put on much of a show.
I mean, for today's game, that Liverpool Villa game, which is absolutely massive. I mean, Ollie Watkins is favourite to score the first goal in that game, even over Mo Salah. So, Watkins favourite for the first goal in that game. And Liverpool aren't the outright favourites in that game either. The favourite is a draw, believe it or not, in that game.
Wayne says, very good side.
I'm sticking with the 7-0 win. How are you, the lads? And he says, up the Villa. Lee says, afternoon, lads. Afternoon to you, Lee. Hope you're well. And Lewis says, yeah, last home game of the season, absolutely. And Lee says, no, 5-0 win for the Toon. Mighty Max got a question. He says, Jack, having John Terry was part of the problem. Great player, but no good at management.
See, they did all right at Villa, didn't they? The three of them, Shaky, Terry and Dean Smith. They did all right. They got Villa up for the Championship to the Premier League. They got survival. But Dean Smith's tenure at Villa was coming to an end. And it didn't end the way that he'd hoped. And John Terry left. Villa stayed up by that Sheffield United goal not happening because of the goal line technology not working that day. if you remember it. And you could say that's a bit of luck in them staying up, or they'd have gone down. But I think sometimes it works as a free but not on your own sort of thing. And I think if you look at Leicester, we had Craig Shakespeare, we had Nigel Pearson, we had Steve Walsh, and the three of them worked superbly. But when they go like to a team on their own or as a two, it don't really work out. Sometimes I find with players that they're world class in their footballing careers, but it don't work out as a manager. Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard. See, Gerrard did all right at Rangers, respect to that, but at Villa it never worked out for him. But Lampard's just, you could put him to, didn't work out at Everton. He saved them last season from going down. It worked out at Derby for Frank Lampard, but shame that Bobby Zamora scored. So, yeah, it swings roundabouts, doesn't it? Some players are good as managers after they finish their career, some not, you know, but I guess that's how football works, isn't it?
Yeah. YVC's going for a 3-0 win on Monday. So that's a little bit less than the 7-0s that's been going around, or the 8-0s or the 10-0s, you know.
Keep scoring down, happy with that.
That gives you a little bit of hope. He says, and Bias says, right now, Brendan Rodgers says, sitting on a hot beach with his pee-off, drinking champagne, girls in bikini, thinking of his next Premier League job. I mean...
They'll probably go Tottenham.
Yeah, Gareth says, good afternoon all. Bit late today, getting a bit overtime in. Hey, no worry, get the money in when you can, mate. And Troll says, for Jack, did you have to sell Fofana, or was it the player who wanted to go? That's a very good question.
It is the interesting part, and I'll be honest with you with this. Leicester didn't want to sell Fofana. They didn't want to sell him. They rated him 85 million plus. Leicester did. And Fofana acted like a spoiled brat. Let's be honest. He didn't want to train with a club. He wouldn't turn up to training. He wouldn't play. He said, I'm not playing for the club. He'd sit in the stands. He wouldn't celebrate when his teams had scored, which you've seen in one of the games. I think it when Maddison scored. This season, he was sat there, didn't do nothing, no reaction. You could see how far the relationship had gone between Leicester and Fofana. He were injured for quite a while after getting injured last season. He got injured last season against one of the Spanish teams in the pre-season friendly at home. We looked after him, did everything for him, and they treated us like shit after, innit? He started doing things on social media, cryptic clues and all that. And he did the same at St. Etienne. I wasn't surprised by Fofana's move at the end of the day. He went because he thought he was bigger than the club, and no one's bigger than the badge, no matter who the player is. So, yeah, Fofana were pushing for his move. He got his move, and he snaked his way out of Leicester, shall I put it.
Before the Chelsea interest in him, how was the relationship with the fans? His relationship with the fans before?
It were okay. It was loved by the fans, but
so they weren't chasing him down the road in his car and abusing him.
No, not like bloody Everton chasing Anthony.
Yeah, exactly.
not that sort of bloody.
I wanted to make that point because obviously Anthony Gordon did agitate for his move and wouldn't go to the training, but I just wanted to make sure that
some players are
the
like
fans
that.
weren't abusing him like Everton.
We didn't abuse him.
I didn't think you had. It was a loaded question.
I think what it is with fans, it's the way you leave a football club, and and I think that's what gets many fans. If you leave it fine, then fans are going to respect you for it, aren't they? But if you start bad mouthing us like he did and doing the things he did, then it's going to make it worse, isn't it? And fans are just going to hate
when you've got no provocation from. Anthony Gordon's a different situation because we've all seen the videos of the fans chasing him down the road
in front of his car.
and abusing him in the car. Yaramina got out of his car. I thought it was very brave. And you can understand why he wanted to get out of that club. It's toxic.
That's mad. It's a mad situation.
Really Brentford have just equalised.
Since Fofana's come back to Leicester, people are handing him £20 notes. He left for the money in it. Football is how do I put it? It's a job. You know, you want to play at the highest level, but it's how you go about your business and playing at the highest level in it. You've got to have that respect for the club you played for before. And if some players ain't like that, I mean, Chilwell's the same, slagged us off, wanted to move, stopped playing, didn't care. And he ended up going Chelsea £50 million. And he said Champions League final is not as big as playing Leicester in the FA Cup final. So it rumbles a bit more, doesn't it? When things like that start getting said.
Yeah, I mean, Wayne says that's why your fans are so special. They are what makes the club work.
The fans are what? The fans are the club.
Yeah. Biassi's bring Frank Lampard to Leicester?
No.
Not when he's been at Derby.
No, I'm all right. Derby reject.
Lewis says St James's Park will be absolutely bouncing on Monday. And if we get Champions League, oh my God, it will be getting back in home on Tuesday morning, probably about 12:30 a.m. You won't move.
Jack, just a question for you. Would you have Frank Lampard as your club as a car park attendant?
If he's going to put the codes out, yeah.
That's the only way you'd have him at the club.
I'd have him as manager. I don't think it worked for him. I mean, he did well at Derby, let's be honest. He got into the playoffs. They lost that Bobby Zamora goal. They got to... And then the Aston Villa, was it the Aston Villa final? Was it the Bobby Zamora goal Lampard Derby, or was it the Aston Villa one?
I think it's Villa.
It might have been Villa. I'm thinking of Bobby Zamora goal just because it's Derby.
I think when Zamora scored, Lampard was still playing.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Yeah, right. I've mixed it up a bit then. So, yeah.
I think it was, who was it that scored? Was it that El Ghazi, I think it was, who scored for Villa that day at Wembley against Derby.
Yeah, when you mention Derby, it's always that Bobby Zamora goal with Leicester fans. But no, I think there'll be a mutual respect between Leicester and Newcastle on Monday night with the fans. Newcastle, good club, well-run club now these days, and I think Leicester will show the respect to Newcastle on Monday. If Newcastle are confirmed Champions League football for next season, I think hats off to you lot. You've done a good job this season, and all the best here at the end of the day. And I think that's something that Leicester fans will do it full time. We might boo our players if we've got battered and we're not in the Premier League anymore, but. Yeah, I think we'll applaud Newcastle for their efforts this season and show that mutual respect like fans do.
Yeah, Bias says Gerrard did okay in a 2-horse race in Scotland. Well, yeah, you're right. And Ian says, Jack, do you think you can come straight back up if you are relegated?
We need a big rebuild in the summer. We really need a big rebuild in the summer. Not this big rebuild that Brendan Rodgers was talking about, what he was telling Porkies about. I mean, we need a big rebuild. The club needs sorting out from top to bottom. And we've got to sign the right championship players. I think we are looking at championship players, funny or not, Tony. We're targeting quite a few of them. So does that show that we think we're already beaten? We were looking at Russell Martin from Swansea to become manager. He's now going to Southampton. We're looking at John Dalton-Masson as potential next Leicester manager for next season. So does that show that Leicester's minds are on the championship for next season, Tony?
I think they are, Jack. I mean, by the sounds of it, I mean...
Masson
used to play for Newcastle.
Yeah, he was
he did, yeah.
Didn't do very well. I think he came to us too early in his career because he left us. I forget where he went, but he actually started scoring.
AC Milan.
Yeah, I know he ended up. He played there, but it just didn't work for him. In some clubs, you buy a player with all the talent in the world, it just doesn't work out.
No, it doesn't. No. Matey Max, I just hope our fans show respect to Leicester and not sing any going down songs. We've been there in the We've been there. It's not the fans' fault. Yeah, well said, Matey Mag. I don't think it'll be 6 or 7. I'm going for 3-0, says Ian Fleming.
I think sorry, I was just going to say, I think the booing and the sort of going down chants tend to be at teams we don't like that could go down, like Everton.
Tony, I think we'll have a predicament like that on Monday night. I think Leicester fans will be chanting amongst themselves singing Championship's going to be all right. we were singing it away at Fulham after the battering, and we were singing it on Wednesday night under the lights. We'll be in Ipswich, we'll be in Hull. QPR, they don't phase us as we go on and follow the Blues. So I think, we'll be singing chants like that on Monday night. If Everton win today and we lose to Newcastle, then I think you'll hear something of them sorts going along to St James's Park from the away fans on Monday night.
I remember in the 80s, it was actually on the same day as the Hillsborough disaster. I was at Highbury watching us lose, I think it was 2-0. And we're singing things like the Football League is upside down and we're going down, you're not. We're so shit, it's unbelievable.
But no, I think you lot beat us 7-1 at one point.
Yeah, that was the promotion season.
Yeah, the last game of the season.
Yeah, that was a funny story for that. I used to get the Mag fanzine, and they had a write-up on that game. It's 6-0 at half-time. One of the anecdotes is you heard this guy sitting next to this woman who they hadn't come in together and says, if we get 10, we're going to have sex here now. And she agreed.
God.
We got 7.
That's plenty. I just hope they ain't around St James's Park on Monday night then.
I mean, after he left Newcastle, John Dahl Thomas, he went on to play for Feyenoord and played 122 games for Feyenoord before he went to AC Milan, where he played 76 games and finally hung his boots up in 2011, so 12 years ago, because he's now 46.
When he went to Feyenoord, he started scoring goals again because he was quite a hot prospect when he came to us, but it just didn't work out. I think
he got 55 goals for Feyenoord, by the way.
Yeah, I think they played him as an out-and-out striker, and he's more of a number 10. It just didn't work.
Tony, I've got a stat for you.
Yeah.
In 2003 and 4, right, we looked at the relegation battle from 2003 and 4. Can you name the 3 teams that went down? And can you also name the place that Everton finished that season?
Oh.
See, I'd know this because I put it out yesterday on the social media. No peeping.
Didn't Everton? I'm shocked. Everton were under David Moyes then, weren't they?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think there might have been.
Yeah, because I'm sure I didn't have a good finish under Moyes. They finished in the top half, didn't under Moyes, but was it that season? I'm trying to think now.
They didn't finish in the top half.
Or did they finish 4th bottom that season?
Yeah, 4th bottom. They finished they finished 17th on 39 points. Who was the 3 teams who was at the bottom?
Oh, you're not
Bradford City, one of them, was it? Leeds was one of them. Leeds.
Everton were 17th. Leeds were 18th. Leicester were 19th. Yeah. And Wolves were 20th. Obviously, Southampton's replaced Wolves, in it. So it looks like the season from 2003 and 4. So it could end up that way.
It's just when you said that they were 17th, and I thought, it's not going to be the bottom 3 that is now, is it?
That was the last time we was relegated from the Premier League, 2004. That's how it ended up. But now look at the table now. Everton are in the same position. Leeds are in the same position, and so are Leicester, with 2 games to go. History could repeat itself, Tony.
It certainly could.
I want the Sky Smackers to go down.
Yeah, but it certainly could. Do you know what it is, though? I just think I think Everton have just got enough to stay up now, unfortunately.
They'll beat Bournemouth last game of the season, no doubt.
Well, you'd like to think they would.
I think they will.
I mean, the thing is...
I wouldn't like to think they would.
Bournemouth be on the beach now, innit?
Your last game's West Ham at home, and the thing is, though...
They play the final, don't they?
That's not going to be easy because any players playing that game are going to want to be in that squad for the final.
They want to win the game as well, going into the final.
Yeah. You don't want to go to the final on a losing streak. So like Leeds fans, I've seen them all over social media. Oh, we're going to hammer West Ham tomorrow because we're in the final. They'll not care now. They'll just sit there and let we win. I thought, no, they won't, because they want to win every game until that final. If you go to that final out of form, that affects you in the final. You want to go into that final in form. So the Leeds will get beat tomorrow, I guarantee, at London Stadium.
West Ham will make changes for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean,
they'll be on a high.
Yeah, man, I'd like Leeds to win, not because I particularly don't want Leeds relegated. It's just I'd much rather Everton go down.
See, even if Leeds win tomorrow, it means we'd still have to beat Newcastle. Bloody hell, man. You left us in a position here, Roly, innit? If Everton or Leeds win, we'd have to go and beat Newcastle.
Well, you're not going
to latest score is Tottenham Hotspur 1, Brentford 2, and Brentford again.
I went 2-1 to Brentford in the predictions yesterday.
So, as things stand in the Premier League, Brentford are on 56 points, 1 point behind Villa and Tottenham.
Tottenham are so poor, man.
If Villa win today or get a draw, Tottenham drop out of the top 7.
Tottenham.
So there you go.
That would be funny.
And they've got to go to Leeds next week. Tottenham in the last game, and that won't be easy for Leeds.
I fancy Leeds against Tottenham.
Yeah,
I think Leeds could beat Tottenham at Ellen Road, especially with Sam Allardyce in charge.
I mean, if Everton do get beat today, and say for some reason Leeds win tomorrow,
Leeds could win the next two.
I tell you what, Everton could be down. So
I really hope so. I really want Everton to go down. You don't know how much I want them to go down.
I very much doubt they will.
I live on for you, Jack. I live on Merseyside, so I get to hear all the bitter blues.
There was a theory yesterday. I read in an article. And if Everton win this weekend against Wolves and Leeds and Leicester fail to win, then, if they both lose, then Everton are safe and both of them are Leicester and Leeds get relegated. Monday night.
If Everton win and Leeds lose,
Leicester, we're both down.
Yeah.
Not really, because Forest only on 34 points. Leeds only 3 points behind. It could go down to goal difference. But then again, if Forest pick up a point against Arsenal, that makes it more tricky. Then that makes it that you would both go down. Yeah. Alan's reporting that the scouts are watching Manuel Ugarte this weekend. What a signing he would be! Just what we need. Defensive midfield, who's top class. Yes, he plays for Sporting Lisbon. He is 22 years of age. He's a Uruguayan. He's rated 24 million euros. He's long balls and his ball control is his strength. No outstanding weaknesses. He started 27 out of 30 games this season. Hasn't scored any goals or registered any assists. Also, he's not had any errors that's led to a shot or a goal, and he's not committed any penalties. Here's another Joe Linton. He's got 11 yellow cards this season, but no reds. And
Tony, question to you.
Yeah.
Roly can answer it as well. Newcastle make Champions League football, which they are going to, let's be honest. Who leaves in the summer for Newcastle at the current squad? Who leaves?
Lascelles.
Yeah.
I say Lascelles goes. Ryan Fraser definitely out the door. Jamal Lewis goes. Mark Gillespie. Matty Longstaff.
Yeah.
Matt Ritchie.
Do you think your 11's good enough for the Champions League?
First of that.
Would you replace any of them with better players?
Well, we'll definitely bring players in to make strength and depth, that's for sure.
We might get better
Eddie Howe
players.
said he's only looking at elite players in the summer. That's all Eddie Howe wants. He wants elite players in the summer.
Elite players, there we are.
But anyone that's displaced from the starting 11 won't be leaving.
No.
Because we haven't got the depth. That's how we... If we get elite players
do you think St. Maximin could leave?
I don't think so.
What about Callum Wilson? Would you replace him with a better striker?
No, but I'd possibly add another striker.
Yeah, you'd bring another striker in. You'd have to.
Had he any in mind?
What strikers?
Don't say Mbappe.
Not really.
Don't say Vardy. We don't want Vardy. No. But no, I mean, if I could have an ideal striker in the club, yes, I would go for Osimhen. But I'll tell you what, as a realistic target, I'd go and get Jonathan David from Lille.
Fantastic.
Cracking striker.
Great striker.
Or maybe Dusan Vlahovic from...
You can have Harry Kane.
The only reason I want Harry Kane is so that he could break Shearer's record as a team player.
Yeah. Gareth says his worry for Monday's game is our lack of midfielders. I'll just nip through some of these comments. Wayne says, as much as I do like Leicester, we have business to do, like we're a boxer in the ring, absolutely. Yes, Lewis, Jack is going to the game on Monday.
I am. I'll be at St. James's Park Monday night.
Pablo says we have some championship quality players you can buy, Jack, like Darlow for one. I'll say 4-0 Wilson with a hat-trick.
I don't want Cole Darlow at Leicester. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, he's ex-Forest, isn't he? Yeah.
Forest reject, man. What's man talking? He wants to sign themselves as well. He's an ex-Forest player. I don't want him either.
Andrew says he's right. It won't be 6 or 7. It'll be 8. Wayne says John Dahl Thomason played for us, then we let him go to AC Milan. Turned out to be a class act. Yeah, he did. Tony Mowbray for Leicester if Sunderland sack him.
Tony Mowbray. I think we're going to land up with a championship manager.
After taking Sunderland to the playoffs, they're going to sack him.
That's madness, so that is.
Well, that's Mackham's for you.
It's not his fault that they lost.
Alan says, was it the game? Then the stadium started to get upgraded. Was that game? Yeah. Mighty Mag says, Jack, we have a few players that would help you next season. Lascelles would be ideal captain, says Mighty Mag.
Man, it's Forest players.
Lewis says, it'd be funny if Newcastle qualify for the Champions League 20 years later when we did last time. Yeah, absolutely. Rich and Everton fan says, come on, you blue boys. It'll be a tough game. Rich, it'll be a tough game. It Wolves today, that's for sure. And Lopetegui's got them playing superb.
Wolves are good at home.
Sefton says, I slept in afternoon all. Good afternoon.
Sefton.
West Ham will lose to Fiorentina, says Bia Vaken. I don't know. It's anyone's game. I think it's a stupid venue. 20,000. You can only get 20,000 fans in Prague. Yeah.
This is ridiculous because, West Ham could fill that several times over on their own.
Yeah. Everton or Doom, says Wayne. They better be. Sefton says, well, the Spurs are losing. Yeah.
Spurs.
Rich says, I feel for Spurs fans, really. Do you? I don't.
Not do I.
Or is he just? He might be just being sarcastic to Spurs.
Yeah, probably.
Alan says 7-1. I'm talked about was the promotion. Oh yes, Alan. Then they've started upgrading the stadium. Yeah. I remember the old toilets when you peed up against the bloody wall with the black paint on it. We are staying up, says Rich. Absolutely, it's absolutely bloody stunk.
It's too early to tell. You can still go down, Rich.
Alan says promotion, yeah. Wayne says, good kickstart to my bet. Tony laughing. Oh, you got Brentford down to win, have you, Wayne? Oh, well done, mate. Let's hope that stays. And Sefton says, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this amazing channel. How are you, the lads? Thank you very much indeed, Sefton. Andrew says, our 11 is good as the same as the 11 already in the Champions League, in my opinion. Yeah. Do you know what it is? I would love it if we got AC Milan in the same group and we go to San Siro. Sven Botman scores the only goal of the game and celebrates right in front of the AC Milan fans. That's karma for AC Milan for the way they went on over us. probably wouldn't happen, but if it did happen, it would be absolutely brilliant. If Carlsberg did that, then that would be brilliant. Obviously, there is other brands available out there. I'm just putting that out there as well. There are other brands out there, so I don't want to get name checked. Alan says, don't think Richie will go. House said in the press a couple of weeks ago he'd like to stay on the club for his experience, how good he is with younger players. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see Richie stay, in all honesty. I think he'd be a great player coach. Jack, there is a lift if you need it. It's St James's Park to get up to level 7 because there's 14 flights of stairs.
Do you know what? I bloody hate it. You know how you've got your turnstiles, yeah? And they're like big flap sort of things, aren't they? Like flaps. Like they're massive sort of metal things. It's like you can't even get through them. It's like you try pushing through and your back break your rib going through them, and then you go up the stairs and it's like you broke your rib by the time you've reached top of them stairs.
I'll tell you what I like about Leicester is I like your ticketing system there because, like I say, when I went to the under-21 games, you know, you don't have to mess about with tickets or anything. You just hold your phone up at the scanner, like the contactless in the supermarket, and bang you through. It's brilliant.
It's better, you know. Newcastle should do.
And you think even somewhere like Wembley should have something like that for the stadium they've got, but they haven't, you know. So it's a strange one, that. BS says Steve Bruce for Leicester. He will get you out the Championship, but to League One.
Man be in the kebab shop. Bloody Leicester. Jesus Christ.
Alan says I've paid there as well, Tony. Yeah. Well, I used to remember because I was just a kid at the time, and I used to remember going in there, and it used to absolutely honk because all it was a brick wall with black paint on, and a little drill, like a little gutter that was put in with an angle grinder, and he's just peeing there, and it used to absolutely stink. Used to nearly knock me sick at times. We'll be back here 5. Okay.
Back at 5 o'clock.
Lewis says, remember, gamble responsibly. Absolutely, Lewis. Paul says, Bruno to score against Madrid in the final, lol. Well, that would be nice to get the final there, Paul, wouldn't it? Yeah. Mighty Mag says, Jack, are you renewing your season ticket if you go down?
Yes, I will be renewing my season ticket. You support your team through thick and thin. You're not a fan overnight.
Absolutely.
You're a fan for life. You're on the roller coaster and it never stops.
A question for you, Jack. What do you think of your owner?
I love the owners at Leicester. Love them. You know, what they've done for this football club is magnificent. And, I have so much respect for them. And I wouldn't change them for the world, innit? You know what I mean? We've got really good owners. Things might have not gone good this season regarding how things have happened upstairs in the club. But, yeah, you know, you can't really dwell on this season at the end of the day. You know, if you look at it as a whole, they've been terrific, haven't they? Vishai built the empire, innit? He said we'd be in the top six by, I think he gave us 5 years, was it? When we're in Championship, we all laughed at him and said, you know what ambition that is, and we're only in the Championship still at this point. And then we came up, won the Premier League, we've won the FA Cup and that. So you can only thank the owners for what they've done. You know, we can't slag them off. But you can criticise when things don't go right, can't you? And things aren't getting done. Do you get what I mean? And I guess that's a football point of view. That's not hate on them at all. That's just an opinion, which everyone has, in it. You know what I'm saying? But no, we love them unconditionally, to be fair, these owners, and we won't be where we are without them, you know, like with a Premier League title and all that. So yeah, I think we look back at the good times, to be honest. And this season has not been the way it panned out. And it's football. Football's football, but you'll never stop supporting your club, whatever league they're in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, says, does Jack think with Leicester's owners losing £4+ billion in their business value, has that affected the club?
Yeah. During COVID, we lost a lot of money. We lost millions of pounds, and that affects every club, innit? Unless like you're a club who's got like a stability sort of business, you know, like a Man City and stuff like that, then I don't think it trouble you as much. But with Leicester, we're a duty-free based business, and King Power's a duty-free based business where all their money comes through duty-free stuff. And when airports were closed in COVID and all that, then yeah, we didn't earn no money, did we? But we were still paying the staff to keep the staff on at the time, and a lot of clubs were getting rid of their staff, weren't they, Tony, at that point? And Leicester stayed with them and stayed committed. And I think the staff have just got to be thankful at the end of the day. But it did. COVID hit Leicester hard, and King Power weren't earning the money. But I just think King Power now are just starting to build up again. But we have been taking in quite a few loans out from Marquis Bank, some Australian bank, and it's not good. We don't need to be taking loans out because it puts you in debt, doesn't it? We've took a loan out for the 25-26 season for the Premier League for TV rights. And if we don't go back into the Premier League, then that's not going to work. I mean, we can't with these loans that we have. If we go down, then you get the parachute payment, don't you, in it? And with this Marquis Bank, they take the parachute payment off Leicester, and they'll only give you what's left of that parachute payment of what you owe. And that's not going to look good for Leicester, is it? You've lent all this money, the parachute payment comes, and you think, the joys of buying players, a big rebuild. And then it ain't going to be an easy rebuild, is what people think in the Championship. It's going to be ever so difficult. And if you owe this money to this bank company, then you're only going to be able to spend what you've got left of what they give you remaining. So it's mad, isn't it?
Do you think they might take advantage of the loan market?
What's that?
If you go down to do your rebuild, do you think you'd take advantage
on the transfer loan market? Potentially, yeah. I think that's something that we'll potentially look at. I mean, we've got targets in mind. We've targeted that bloke from Middlesbrough who's on loan from Aston Villa. Is it Archer? Is he on loan from Aston Villa at Middlesbrough? Is he? I think we're looking at him. It's going to be a different sort of rebuild than what we expected. Let's put it that way. But hopefully the club can pull through it.
Yeah. Just in case anybody's interested in any team news, Man United are without Rashford in their team today, so Rashford is not playing for Man U. Yeah, and the thing is, though, I know these Man United fans are saying they're going down to Bournemouth to win, but do you know what? Don't underestimate Bournemouth because they've turned some teams over down there. We found it difficult down there, and it's not an easy place to go to, Bournemouth. So.
Do you feel now, Tony, with Bournemouth, now they're safe in the Premier League, do you just feel like they'll be on the beach sort of situation now where they haven't got to worry, there's nothing to play for now? Man United's obviously got Champions League football to still look at, haven't they, regarding, because Liverpool's on their tail still, isn't it? If Man United slip up today, then Liverpool can go in and think, you know what, we beat Aston Villa, that's it. Do you feel with Bournemouth now, they're just going to let let it off, let a bit of steam off? Do you get what I mean? Do you think that's how they're going to look at it now they're safe in the Premier League? Because no one even had them down to be safe this season. But I think they've done a terrific job with Gary O'Neill.
Yeah.
I think they'll go for it. I think Gary O'Neill probably want to win these last two games because he'll want them to finish as high on points as possible. He will not want to limp out the season by losing 2 games in a row. And he was very angry against Chelsea because he said they had chances and they should have put them away. And he says because Chelsea didn't deserve that win that day. So, I mean, he'll want that team to play really well. So I can't see them slipping their guard, in all honesty. I think Bournemouth will go out there today. I mean, look, Man United went to West Ham. Everybody said Man U would go and wipe the floor with West Ham. West Ham beat them 1-0. Because De Gea makes another balls up, But, what's to say De Gea doesn't make a balls up today and concedes a soft goal, Mr. Calamity. So it could happen again. And who knows? It's a tough game. And, I suppose we'll just wait and see. Not that we're worried about Man U. As long as we keep winning, Man U can't finish above us. So that's a good thing about that.
I mean, I'm not a great believer in teams being on the beach. I think they play with more freedom. But I think that, again, every place up the league you finish is an extra couple million quid.
Yeah.
And I would like to think that the professionalism of the players would be that they still go at it, and the club will want them. And as Tony says, I'm sure Gary O'Neill will want to win the last 2 games to go out with a feel-good feeling at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. I think what helps Everton as well, last game of the season, that they're at home. They're not away to Bournemouth. So I think it makes it ever so difficult for Bournemouth away from home at the end of the season.
I mean,
because Everton are going to be right behind it, aren't they? Their fans last game of the season at home. That's a massive advantage.
If it ends up that come the last game of the season, at the start of it, they're in the bottom 3.
Yeah,
which is a possibility. Are they going to be able to take the pressure?
That's it.
Because if
it's how the scenario works now, isn't it?
If Bournemouth start well, those skip rats will quieten down.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, when we played them a few weeks back, it's just so funny seeing them desert after the 4th goal went in. Goodison was empty.
It's still 2-1 to Brentford. Tottenham fans shouting, "We want Daniel Levy out." They're not happy. Richarlison diving and didn't get a penalty. And in the League 2 playoffs, Stockport are currently 1-0 up against Salford City after 75 minutes. So that tie is 1-1 on aggregate. Stays like that, it goes to extra time.
Sheffield Wednesday were good the other day.
Oh, God, what a game that was.
4-0 down, and then they come back to 4-0 to beat Peterborough, and then bloody go through. Who'd have written
penalties. Wayne says, up the Villa. You won't hear me saying that very often. No, I hope I bloody don't hear you say that. Yeah, says, Leicester should take Garang Kwal on loan, depending on the new manager.
That's a
good shout.
Good shout. Yeah, I think that he needs to go out to the Championship or League One side.
Lewis says you won't be seen very often if you're Newcastle fans. Come on, Villa. Yeah, it's just for today, Lewis. Just for today, mate. Alan says you need a good coach. Look at Burnley. I mean, look at Burnley. Yeah. They took company on, and look what he's done to the Burnley. I mean, everybody had Burnley as like written off and never coming back for a long, long time, but they're straight back, and they were playing some decent football.
Very true.
Wayne says Tony Manu should definitely not underestimate Bournemouth 1-0. That's my prediction. Bias says I hate Villa and Liverpool, but I call this game El Twatico. Alan says yes, their fans were so smug and full of it when they beat us. Won't be saying that up the Villa after this game. No, absolutely not. Lewis says, I know, Tony, come on, Villa.
My other half's a red. We went up to St James's Park. She didn't realise she had an inner football hooligan in her. She started cheering wildly when Liverpool scored, and even more when Nick Pope got sent off. And there's me giving her daggers, and everyone around her. When she went to Lou, everyone's pointing, "That's her. She's the one." Oh dear, it's just. No,
I mean, we're going to come towards prediction time now, and I mean, I'm going to come to you, Jack, as the guest. I mean, what's your prediction for this game? And be as honest as you want to be, Jack. I mean, if any of your Leicester fans are watching, I mean, I'm sure they know your honesty as well. And, you know, give us your thoughts on Monday, your prediction and how you see the game going.
I'm an honest fan. I like to put things into perspective. I see how it is. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't lie and be deluded about things. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think things are going to happen that aren't. And, this one's a very difficult game. Newcastle done well this season. Now want Champions League football. It'd be an ever so difficult game. They've pasted us twice this season. They say third time lucky. And, it's going to be a hard game, a very hard game. But we've got to battle. We've got to stop this bloody 10, 15-minute thing and stop giving up when teams score first goals. But Newcastle are going to do what they did at King Power, innit? They're going to press us from the start. They're going to lead us into mistakes. And, if they score first, then we could be in for a hammering. It could be a cricket score. I just want to see us fight, show passion. As fans, I don't think we're expecting anything from this one. We'd be lucky if we did get anything from this game, respectively. I'd love a point, but yeah, this was never a difficult game, Tony, to be fair. A good Newcastle side who will want to get the job done. Leicester, this is a fixture where we've got difficult fixtures. We played Liverpool, lost 3-0. We've not been at it all season. We've showed no fight, no passion. And if bloody you can beat Brighton 4-1, what can you do to Leicester? If we don't turn up at all, then we're going to get hammered. There's no confidence in me in this game, Tony, to be fair. I will travel out to St James's Park because that's what loyal fans do, and that's what you do, supporting your team. No matter win, lose or draw, you still support your team no matter what. I will be there in the Championship supporting us on if we are to go down this season. But, yeah, this one, Monday Night Football. Monday Night Footballs haven't been really great for Leicester. We played Everton, got a draw. Our performances away from home, we picked up 4 wins, so it's not great. We've probably got one of the worst records this season for away records. We leak goals like nobody's business. And yeah, like I say, if you get 1 goal, then yeah, it could be the end by bloody half time. So the crowd are going to be up for it. There'll be 1,300 plus travelling to St James's Park. So respect to all them Leicester fans who's travelling on Monday night. But yeah, what am I expecting? Team selection, I think for me, I think I'm going to go Iverson in goal. Castagna, Wout Fass, Seunchu won't play, so I think he'll play Johnny Evans again. Victor Christensen, Harvey Barnes. I'd like to see Papi Mendy in there. I think he'll play Samare. Maddison, Vardy, and Iheanacho I'm going to go for. But I can't see us playing 2 strikers because we always seem to play 1 striker, and I think that's what makes it difficult. But if we open too much, Tony, then you're going to hit us hard, innit? Like you did to Spurs, like you did to Brighton. We can't allow to open up. We've got to keep that door shut. I'd park bloody 11 buses on the field if it meant us getting something out of that Newcastle game. So, stop you getting past, innit? But no, we're in for a difficult game. It could be Champions League football versus relegation on Monday night. So, yeah, it's not been a great season. And my head, no comment. But my heart says 1-1. My heart says 1-1 to the Foxes. I think I'm going to play it safe on this one, Tony, to be fair, as a Foxes fan. And I'm going to go with heart, mate. I'm going to go 1-1, even though it may not happen. But it's the hope that kills you, mate. And I think that's what we're clinging on to, the hope. So, yeah. 1-1.
Yeah. Sefton says his wife's at Anfield, so how are you, Villa? Because Sefton's wife's a Liverpool supporter, so she's gone to watch the home game at Liverpool, and that's why he's saying, how are you, Villa? You just want to hope, Sefton, no? She don't watch this channel later on, because if she sees your comment on screen and Villa win, you're in trouble, mate. So be careful. Make sure you're hiding in that loft. Or do the Bart Simpson, go behind the hedge.
Apparently there's a fire drill at the Tottenham Stadium.
Oh, they're all leaving of the... Brentford
have just scored again.
3-1.
Oh, God.
They're all leaving.
Yeah, Wissa.
Yeah.
Thomas Frank's had a very good season, hasn't he, as Brentford manager, let's be honest. And to do about Ivan Toney, I mean, I had Brentford on as 2-1 today. Wissa and then Bumo to score.
Well, they have both scored.
They scored, but Bumo's got 2 in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's 3-1. But, I said Spurs would lose. I don't think Spurs have been good enough this season. Whatever manager's going to go there, they're going to be in the same sort of mess, aren't they, to be fair, Tony?
Yeah. Ryan Mason picked up a yellow card in the first half because he was right to have a go about the because Oliver Skip was pulled up for a foul, which it wasn't a foul. The Brentford player had made the most of it, and for arguing, he got a yellow card for it. Lewis says 8-0, or it could be more. I'm very sorry, Jack.
That's all
Matey
right,
Max says Leicester v West Ham last game could keep Hughes up. Stranger things have happened. Absolutely. I mean, look at Leeds last year. We beat Burnley. You would have had your house on Brentford beating Leeds at home, and Leeds won a 2-0 and stayed up. So he's right.
I think you just got to cling on to that optimism, what other people are talking, and cling on to that hope, because I think that's what football fans are, isn't it? Sometimes we have to do that sort of thing, but in realist, our Newcastle's playing, they're battering teams left, right, and centre, and they've been putting 4+ past teams at times. If we're poor on Monday night, I just can't see it happening. But I'd wish Newcastle luck in the Champions League.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Andrew says Vardy would have scored an on the Prem record at Newcastle.
I hope so.
Sefton says the 2-4 Leicester 0. How are the lads onwards and upwards? Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll expect this.
3-1 says Lewis. 3-1 Wissa. Yeah. Oh yeah, about Tottenham. Wayne says, I like your honesty, Jack. True supporter, bud. Says Wayne.
Have to be.
Spurs fans are leaving early, says Lewis. Yeah, that's how we're tricking it. Sending people home early. Andrew says, I hope we win, obviously, but I'd especially love to see Anderson get his first official goal. Yeah. I mean, that would be, wouldn't it? That would be absolutely fantastic if that happened. But
Anderson will start.
Let's hope.
We always let players score who ain't scored. I believe Dan Bernard scored before the Leicester game when we played to win the cup. He hadn't scored for Newcastle that season. Then he all of a sudden got through us somehow and poked it home.
Yeah.
Oh my! That summed us up that game though. That summed us up in the cup. Especially when Barney missed that sitter.
Yeah. Jules is going, Anderson and Botman to score would be great since it's the last home game. Yeah, absolutely. Andrew says 1-1. No, you're allowed to dream. He says you've won the league as well. So, yeah. It's a shame Leicester will go down, but Leicester still bounce back ability back to the Premiership, says Sefton.
Hope so.
There's 9 minutes of added on time at Spuds.
Bloody hell.
Don't know where they got that from.
There have been a few stoppages for head injuries. So it's probably not too far out of what it should be.
Troll says, Spurs result is great, means Villa can pass them if Villa win or draw at Liverpool. Absolutely. One last time, up the Villa today. Never said again, says Alan.
Say it twice now.
Love to see Dubs come on if the game is won, just to say his goodbyes if he's going, and Miley to get a taste of what's to come.
I think there's a possibility Miley might start if Joe Linton's not fit, because we've got no other midfielders in the club.
Eddie's already knocked that one on the head.
Gary Lineker.
Yeah.
Eddie
Nick Pope to get to score for Newcastle as well. Bounce back.
That definitely sums up this season if he shot from goal and scored.
Spurs are heading for a big time fall, in my opinion, like Everton did, says Andrew. I mean, Andrew, thing is, you're not far wrong. I mean, Spurs are just
Look at Chelsea, lads, isn't it? I mean, you wouldn't have thought Chelsea would be in this position, but they brought Todd Bowley in. Spent all this money. They thought success would be instant, and it ain't. There's been fights in the changing room. There's been him going in the changing room, and everything's a mess at Chelsea. And I just think clubs like that, these American owners think I don't know how they take English football in it. It's different to the MLS. Like owning a club over there, it was more difficult, and I don't think Todd Bowley thought it'd be this difficult. He just thought I'd throw money at it, and there it is. But it ain't worked out that way. And I think Chelsea, they're missing a striker. I'd feel sorry for Poch going into this sort of mess. He's got to go and clean it all up now. So they don't end up like Tottenham.
I mean, I'm just hoping that no one wants to buy their players, not because they're no good. It'll put them into so much trouble, FFP wise. If they can't shift, they're going to have to shift a hell of a load of players to get back some of their outlays. No one buys them. Just so funny.
Apparently,
or at least at not the prices they want.
Apparently, David Raya's made a tremendous double save to stop Spurs scoring, and then Ben Mee made a great goal-saving block. What a terrific player he's been for Brentford this season at defence, Ben Mee. Andrew says, I do like Leicester. I was happy when they won the Premier League at such mental odds. They allowed us all to dream. Monday is just business, says
we've had some good memories we have in the Premier League. We've seen Vardy get 11 and 11. We've seen Leicester lift the Premier League. We've had some great years, and that's something we won't forget. We've scored some great goals. We've seen some dramas. We've seen VAR. VAR in the Championship won't be there, so I guess that's a sigh of relief.
Sefton says, brilliant, Jack. Honest, true supporter. Lewis says, Tottenham could not even get European football if it all goes tits up. Yeah. Kevin Adamson says, never take anything for granted, but this last home game should be an easy win. Be ashamed to see them relegated, though. Would rather see the Scouse Mackhams. Hopefully I beat the other Scouse as today. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I totally see where you're coming from on that one, Kevin. I'm behind you on that. The American owners think it's like American football, no relegation. Alan says, Tony, Roly Jack. Bye, guys. Bye to you, Alan. Have a nice afternoon, whatever you're doing, mate. Sefton says, if Villa get a result at Anfield, I'm going to work before she gets back. Yeah, go to work early and ask if you can do some overtime. Wilson's on a great run also, 11 and 10, isn't it? Yeah, he is. He's fantastic at the minute, Wilson. Troll's laughing at Sefton. Many happy times at Filbert Street, said Sefton. Yeah, absolutely. Come on, Villa, you can do it. Are you doing a watch-along?
I need to go now. It's nice talking to you, Jack.
Pleasure, mate.
What's your prediction, Roly, before you go?
I'm going to go 4-0.
I wouldn't have it any other way, Roly, to be fair.
And if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Pole67.
I appreciate it, mate. Well done. I'll try to put your follow after this.
Yep, great. Great show.
Cheers, Roly. Cheers, Roly.
I'll see you the next time. Cheers.
All the best, mate.
And you. Bye now.
Bye. Brian says, are you doing a Villa watch along? No, I'm not doing a Villa watch along, mate. No. Brian says, big up, not big up. Yep, absolutely, mate. So my prediction for Monday is it will be tough because, you have to come out and play. Leicester need to come out and play.
And Newcastle are good when teams come out and play.
Yeah.
Because it leaves so much space. And that's something we do. If you look at us against Liverpool, it was the same situation where we leave so much space, and we did it against Fulham. It's like we don't track back enough either. If you watch Barnes and that, they don't track back. And then when we get the ball on the halfway line, we don't look forward enough. We're taking it back into the fence because no one wants the ball. And then that's something we're going to be nerve-wracking about with Newcastle, because they'll take the ball and put us into a horrible situation. And set pieces, you was quite good at against Brighton. And we seem to kind of head it on at the front post, innit? So, we could bloody end up in that situation where we had it on at the front post and it goes in. But, no, it's an ever so tricky game. And, it's a game where you're going to be watching, as a Leicester fan, watching it through your fingers on Monday night.
You have to come out and play, in all honesty. I can't see you sitting back for a point. A point's no good to you. You need wins. So if you come out and play, I think we can exploit the gaps. If we win every second ball or win the second balls and exploit those gaps.
That's the thing. If you get one, you're going to fight for every ball. You've done that in the last two occasions against Leicester. You fight for every ball. You can see the transformation in Eddie Howe, how he's transformed Newcastle into this. You're like gladiators, innit? You know what I mean? With Wolfman and that. You know what I'm saying? Proper getting stuck in and taking the battle to teams.
I can see it being like that. I'm going to say, I've said 4-0 as well.
You're going 4, okay.
You look at the Brighton game the other night, the last two goals, they were scored within a minute of each other. And that just shows
we can't keep clean sheet.
We were 2-1 down. We were 2-1 up on Brighton, and I know a lot of people were nervous about that game, and nerves. You could see the nerves, but the thing is, those 2 goals in 2 minutes, just in a minute, just killed Brighton off, and that was it. And Brighton looked beaten. You know,
Wilson could have scored again though if it weren't for the goalkeeper.
He could have, yeah. He could have made a 5, absolutely. Ian says, "Great show, guys. Thank you very much indeed, Ian."
We'll get through easy.
Matey Max says, "Jack, I honestly hope you lot stay up. You're an ambassador to your fans and club." Well said, Matey Max.
Appreciate it, mate.
See you later, says Lewis. See you later, Lewis. Sefton says, "Bye, mate," to trolls. Andrew says, I like everything to get docked and Leicester to stay up. And good luck after Monday, of course, lol.
That's good.
3-1 Toon win says, Gareth, as I said earlier, the lack of quality midfield is my only worry. Yeah, that's true. Enjoy the lush sunny day, lads, says Andrew. Oh, we certainly will. Great fan, Jack, says trolls. You
Appreciate
are.
That.
Yeah, he's a great lad, is Jack. Coffee says, hi, Tony, Jack, Roly and all. Hi, Coffee, you've come in late. Where you been? Can we see Forest getting something off Arsenal? Do you know what is, Sefton? I can. This is what I said the other day in my predictions. I did say Forest to win this 3-2 because Arsenal, no, they haven't won the title.
They'll be shocked after that defeat to Brighton.
And at the City ground, Forest are quite a good side at home. So I can see Forest getting something out of this game. I honestly can. Even if they pinch a draw, that might just be enough to keep them up. Football's a funny game, says Lewis. It absolutely is, Lewis. It is. Yeah, so guys, so we're coming to the end of the show. I mean, Jack, do you want to let people know where they can find you and your channel? I mean, guys, if you haven't subscribed to Jack's channel, please do so. Absolutely fantastic channel Jack has. And like I say, I had the pleasure of meeting him back in March for the England game. Just as well, I did put on Twitter that I was going to the game because then Jack messaged me and said, oh, well, yeah, I'm there if you want to meet up. So absolutely brilliant.
That's fun. Guys, go and follow us at The Final Whistle on YouTube at The Final Whistle. Go and check out all our content, match reviews, match previews, match day vlogs, all that. We'll have the match preview tomorrow night as Leicester travel to St James's Park in what could be Champions League football versus relegation. A big game ahead for the Foxes. And, very difficult game, but I'll be there on Monday night. There'll be a match day vlog for that. So if you're a Newcastle fan and you want to see my reactions to the Monday night game, then head over to the channel at The Final Whistle. Go and hit the subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at TF Whistle, on Instagram, Twitter, and all that. And also go and check out Tony's channel as well. Hit a like on the stream for Tony. Subscribe to Tony's channel if you're new to his channel. And yeah, up the Foxes.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed, Jack. Yeah, I mean, obviously the reason I'm doing the show early today is because when I pick my other half up from work, when I pick her up from work at 5, we're off to the cinema. So I couldn't do nothing tonight. And then tomorrow, I'm off to Wembley tomorrow. I'm going down to watch Gateshead play in the FA Trophy final against FC Halifax Town. So hopefully Gateshead can get some silverware and bring it back to the northeast. So I'll be doing some match vlogs from down at Wembley. So do catch that tomorrow. And that's what's coming up. And then on Monday, I'll have the pre-match live. So where I get the team lineups for you. I'll bring that all to you. I'll confirm the time with you. That'll probably be round about 6:30, I would imagine, because it's an 8 o'clock kickoff. So I would say about 6:30 it will be. That'll be live on Monday for the pre-match build-up as well. I've put it in the chat there. That's Jack's handle on Twitter at TF Whistle. If you want to follow him on there, he'll follow you back. And it's The Final Whistle on YouTube. But if you go to Twitter and go to Jack's page, you can click the link from there and get to his channel that way as well. Like I say, go and give him a subscribe. And if you go back to the match when England played France in the under-21s, you'll see me on there being interviewed by Jack. But if you like what you see... It was, wasn't it? Yeah, 4-0 to England. Absolutely brilliant. If you like what you see, then smash the like. It really does help the channel up the search results. Also, if you are brand new to the channel, then come and join this amazing community and hit the subscribe. And also the bell notification will tell you when I'm live, have pre-records or any upcoming shows. I've got some final comments here. Great show all. Enjoy the picks, Tony. Thanks very much, Mighty Mag. Andrew says he's already followed you. Will you send me Jack's channel link, Tony? I will do, Sefton. Yeah, I'll send you on WhatsApp, mate, and then you can give him a sub. Come on, you Blues, let's go, says Rich. Yeah, good luck, mate, for this afternoon, but I think it'll be a tough game at Wolves. Lewis says, before you go, I'd love to see the young Lewis get a goal. Yeah, that would be lovely, wouldn't it, Lewis Smaley? No dissing the Mighty Mags on their mind, says Andrew. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. And yeah, it's been a great show, and it's been great having you on, Jack. And
pleasure.
Yeah, you know, it's a shame the season's coming to an end, but you know, I know if you don't survive, we may get you in the cup, so then I'll get you on for a preview again. And you know, but we will stay in touch. Don't worry about that at all. Can Maddison stay at St James's, says Coffee? Unfortunately, you can't. You'll have to go back to Leicester, but you may do in the summer. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? But I mean, that's one thing I'll quickly ask you before we go. Where do you think Maddison will end up?
He's going to leave Leicester. It was confirmed by John Percy. I don't know, you know. I'm not sure. Does it depend on who's going to pay the money for him? I think that's what it's going to come down to the most. There was talk that if Brendan Rodgers goes to Tottenham, then he could take Tielemans and Maddison. So that's just reports again. It's rumours. Rumours don't get you anywhere, does it, Tony? You know what I mean? It's the facts that you actually want to read on. So, yeah, I'm not sure where Maddison's going to end up, but I don't feel he's going to be a Leicester player in the summer. So I wish him all the best, to be fair, Maddison. Scored some great goals for the club. He's won the FA Cup with us and that. And, yeah, all the best to Maddison if he is to leave Leicester in the summer.
Mighty Mouse says, quick one, Tony. Are you appearing on Jack's show? What, tomorrow night? I won't be able to, Mighty Mac, because I'll be at Wembley. And I don't know. You say the match starts at 4:15. So
you've got a long way to get home, Tony, after.
There could be extra time penalties. You know. So yeah, and I'm not. I've booked myself on the 9:25 train home. So hopefully by then everything's finished and done with. So yeah, possibly not tomorrow, mate. But yeah, if I wasn't away at the game tomorrow, then yeah, I would have been. Feel free to have gone on anybody's channel tomorrow. That would have been absolutely fine. But unfortunately, I'm not free tomorrow. Sefton says, following you now, Jack, on Twitter. Oh, did you click his link to his channel as well, Sefton? You find it from there.
Yeah, you find it on
Coffee says, we'll have Maddison's shirt and war flag banner ready. Coffee is brilliant. And Sefton says, how are you, Gateshead? Absolutely, Sefton. If anybody's asking about the Gateshead game, yes, it is on TV live tomorrow. It's on BT Sports, so that's where you'll find them. The final.
I'll be at the women's football tomorrow to watch them in the Barclays WSL. As Leicester could be staying up if they win against West Ham tomorrow at home. So
wow,
that all depends on Tottenham. If Tottenham beat Reading today in the WSL and Leicester beat West Ham tomorrow, Leicester women stay up. So that'll be a fantastic achievement for the girls. And we were like 7-8 points behind. We were written off in about January time that we'd get relegated. But we've showed the fight, Tony, the passion, what the blokes need to do in these next two games. So yeah, man, it's gonna be. I'll be at the women's game tomorrow.
Yeah, you don't want a double relegation, do you?
Bloody hell not. Bloody hell, Tony,
is that at the King Power, is it?
Yeah, it's at the King Power Stadium. You know, the women play their final game next Saturday away to Brighton, and then we've got the men's game against West Ham on the Sunday. So hopefully it's not bloody double relegation heartbreak. I can't take it, Tony.
Yeah. Tony, can you take a photo of the match programme? Yeah, absolutely, mate. I will do, no problem. Congratulations to Newcastle ladies for winning the league, says Lewis. Yeah. And
they've done well.
Yeah. Win the league next season. We go to the championship the following season. So we're technically about 2 or 3 seasons from WSL. So, yeah.
There we are.
Absolutely brilliant. But guys and girls in the chat, thank you very much for being on this afternoon. It's been absolutely brilliant. Fantastic comments, great questions for Jack as well, who's answered them very well, very truthfully. He's an absolute pleasure as Jack. And as I always say, remember, the future's bright, the future's black and white. 2 final comments has come in. Yes, well done, the two lasses, and no problem. See you later. Yeah, so as I say, it's bye-bye from me.
Take care, everyone.
Yeah, how are you, the lads?